What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Flyover Sports Podcast, episode 27. It is May 13th, 2021, and I'm here with my co-host, Drew Clifton. Drew, what's up, my man?
Not too much, It's pretty tame week altogether.
I
How about you?
tame week, yeah, frustrating week. We can get to that later, as of course, the Royals have not won a game since the last time we've talked, which is pretty ridiculous. So, but we can get into that later. We can, we'll stay with the positives. We'll stay in looking ahead towards the team that doesn't let us down and doesn't get our hopes up just to crush it. We're going to talk with Kansas City Chiefs because the NFL schedule came out, man, and first 18-week schedule. What do you think of it?
Oh, I hate the 18-week schedule. I don't know about you. Oh gosh, I know we're trying to keep it positive and turn over a new leaf and everything, but first things first. It's just gonna make all the schedules look so weird.
You'll get used to it.
No. Why can't it be an even number? I don't understand why it has to be an odd number.
I don't know. I like more football. I'm pro anything more football.
We'll see. But what'd you think of it? I don't know if there's a lot you can really. I mean, a lot of times this gets overblown. It's like the dog days of football, so there's not a lot going on, and a lot of times people look and just decide what their end of the year prediction would be, but
right.
Usually doesn't go that way, right?
Right. It's wild that NFL is so king that even in the down times, like people get so excited about the schedule because that's what's next. That's what
Right.
they get excited about the NFL right now, and it's just they have such a lockdown on everything. It's ridiculous. Like before too long, we're going to get like a 2-week, probably like not special, but like where they release 1 or 2 games every day for 2 weeks just to get fans talking about it. Like I think we're not too far away from that. The way they had
That will be an absolute disaster.
it would be
Please,
hilarious.
Goodell, do not go that way. That just reminds me of the worst event of the entire sports year, which is the release of the bracket for college basketball, which takes 4 hours, and they do it as slow as possible.
I think the NBA lottery is terrible as well. Like who's picking where, like how they do that, and every team sends one, and they do the. I think that's.
It can be exciting. Like the Zion year was
Correct.
That was a great lottery. But if it's like last year where you're like, I don't even know if we're excited about our pick right now. Like we just did terribly. And you might make who knows? It's a toss up. Then yeah, I totally agree with that. But yeah. Go ahead.
That's just where we're headed with the NFL schedule. Before we talk about, you want me just? I'm sure everybody listening already knows it, but I'm still going to run through what the Chiefs have. So week 1 they host the Browns. Week 2 they go to Baltimore for Sunday night. Week 3 is home against the Chargers. Week 4 is in Philly. Week 5 is hosting the Bills. That's a primetime game. Week 6 they're going to DC to play Washington. Week 7 they're going to Tennessee to play the Titans. Week 8 is home against the Giants primetime. Week 9 is home against Green Bay, which isn't primetime, but it's one of those 3:25 games that will be isolated. Week 10 is in Las Vegas. Week 11 is hosting the Cowboys. Week 12 is a bye, which that's Thanksgiving weekend. So with all the Thanksgiving football, the Chiefs will not be playing that week. Week 12, they host the Broncos. Week 14, they host Las Vegas. Week 15, they go to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. Week 16, they host the Steelers. Week 17, they're at Cincinnati. And week 18, they're in Denver. So that's kind of how the Chiefs' schedule looks shaping up. Any immediate things that stick out to you?
Week 2 for the Ravens again.
Right.
They like to do that recently.
I know.
I don't understand that. That's kind of like the marquee game of the NFL. I would say is Lamar versus, Patrick Mahomes. So I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's wild because I don't know. When I'm thinking of top quarterbacks in the NFL, or at least in the AFC, like the ones that are gonna, I think of Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, and Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Is that false?
No, that sounds good to me.
In the AFC?
Yeah.
They play all 4 of those quarterbacks within the first 5 weeks.
Right.
Like, I kind of like this schedule a lot just because, like, the Chiefs could very easily. Now I don't know if they will. I don't know if I'd predict, but the Chiefs very easily could be, 2-3, 3-2 by week 5 with just how that schedule lines up.
Sure.
Because even though they play the Browns, Chargers, and Bills at home, those are 3 good football teams, and they go to Baltimore, which even though they've had their number, like you just kind of think that they're going to get them at least once during this run. It's not like Tom Brady dominated Peyton Manning every time they played. They actually ended up evening out a little bit. So like I think Lamar is going to get Mahomes once or twice, but so I mean, I just kind of like that there's you're battle tested early, and there could be a little bit of mayhem from the fan base depending on how those games go. And I'm all for that because that gives us something to talk about when people are freaking out about a good team maybe losing the game or two early.
Yeah, you're definitely right. It definitely turns around at the end. But I guess there is some room for those teams that the Chiefs are going up at the end of the season to like actually have turned around what we think about them, especially the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And on the other end, the Steelers might be one of the worst teams in the NFL by the time that
they already
game
are
comes around. Yeah. So, and we'll get our revenge on Juju. Do our TikTok dances all around. Orlando Brown Jr. That Ravens game is the Orlando Brown Jr. revenge game, right? I don't know if it's a revenge game. Everything's a revenge game now.
Right. You can make it like everything's a revenge game because right now the Browns are a revenge game for the playoffs. The Bills in week 5 will be a revenge game against the Chiefs because of the playoffs. Baltimore still trying to beat Kansas City. The Chargers are. Did you see that there's another article, the yearly article that comes out that is this the Chargers year? Did you see that?
mean, yeah, they're always everybody's dark horse team. They have the least amount of fans that are actually fans of the team, but the most that have that as like their second favorite team, right? Because they're safe. Because nobody has a rivalry with the Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, who are second place in their own stadium. So if they and I've heard this too, like if the fans, if there are any anymore of the Chargers, do not come out to that Chiefs game early in the season, that it's going to be a home game for sure for the Chiefs there.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's what week 15 they go to Los Angeles.
As a week 15?
Yeah, they're hosting them. They're hosting them in week 3, which is again they play the tough teams at home early, which is nice. But they end against they play 3 of their last 4 on the road, but it's Chargers, Bengals, and Broncos. And as of right now, week 17 and 18 with Cincinnati and Denver, that just sounds like 2 cakewalks to end the season, which is huge, actually. Especially with seeding and stuff.
So, do you think the NFL is finally going to get what they want and get a Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes game, or are we going to see Jordan Love?
I think we'll get the Rodgers game. I really think that Aaron Rodgers is going to play.
Right, but the last time the Packers, the Chiefs played the Packers, right? That was Patrick Mahomes was out.
Right, I was at that game actually.
Yeah, so. And man, Aaron Rodgers hit one of the silliest passes you'll ever see.
It was ridiculous. I was at the other corner and was still in awe, in the stadium of how the heck did he do that?
But it would be funny if once again they're up against each other, and the NFL desperately wants that matchup to happen, and either one of them isn't there.
Right, they want it so
or
badly.
The Packers are out of it essentially at that time, which would be crazy.
They won't. It'll be week 9, man. Only 8 games will be played. You could be 2-6, and with the extra game, still have a chance.
Sure. But the only way they're 2-6 is if their star quarterback has not showed up and is a Jeopardy host.
Correct. That's the only way. And paid the Packers back $22.5 million or whatever it is.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. Why I think this is just he's gonna have to get over it.
Yo, 100 definitely. He's not getting someone fired. He's going to show up. We've already talked about it, but
yeah.
Is there anything else you see on the schedule that pops out to you?
I like that after the Bills game, I don't know if I think it's a Sunday night game. They get to go to Washington, who still doesn't have a quarterback. And if Washington had a quarterback, that may be a tough game, but it's they don't have, you always kind of have, teams always say they're worrying about the next team on the schedule.
Yeah.
But there's also a little bit of preparation for the next team, like just that's how the NFL season goes. So I like that the Bills game, because that's going to be a good game. The Bills thought they would kind of turn the corner last year and ran into a buzzsaw in the AFC Championship game. So that's going to be a big game for them. I like that the Chiefs don't really have to worry too much for the following week kind of thing.
You aren't a Heineke fan?
Oh man, I like Heineke, but I mean, come on, man, that was
what was he, like the only quarterback that scored a touchdown against the Buccaneers in the playoffs?
Pretty much, yeah. Like that seems more of a fluke than a.
That's probably fair.
I mean, I kind of hope I'm wrong, because that's fun. Like that dude came out of nowhere.
And then a hilarious thing about Heineke is that dude's got some tweets. That
no, I know.
If he wins, starts winning, that'll be a very fun little side note for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he probably didn't thought he'd be in this situation.
Yeah, no way.
I have a filter on his tweets at the time.
Yeah.
But I just nothing. I mean, I think it's wild that they have a primetime game against the Giants. I think that's the game that kind of
that could be ugly by the time they get there.
Yeah, I mean, I like Daniel Jones a little bit more than most, just because of his athleticism, and I think he's shown flashes. We'll see. He has all the offensive talent in the world now, so this is kind of a if he's not good this year, then the Giants need to find a new quarterback. But I think he's shown enough flashes that I still get why the Giants are like.
Do you think that people would like him more if he didn't trip? Right, on
I
that
think
big
people
run?
would like him more if they didn't boo him when they drafted him with the 6th or 8th overall pick, and I don't know, he's already exceeded the expectations of draft day, but because if he was drafted by any other team, people would be high on this guy. But because he's in New York, he has to win to kind of actually.
Well, and he was at the time an overdraft, right? And like after Trubisky, people were very sensitive to the Carolina quarterbacks.
Right. I think that was a better pick than Trubisky. Personally,
I think that's probably already been warranted.
The trip
probably after that Buccaneers game.
Yeah, the trip is absolutely hilarious, though. You're right.
I mean, honestly, if he scores that touchdown, it's one of the highlights of the season. Instead, it's like a disaster for you.
White quarterback going 85 yards or whatever.
He hit some like ridiculous like Tyreek Hill top speed and just couldn't keep his feet under him. And I swear to God,
his feet.
If he crossed that goal line, there would be a lot more people like, I don't know, his athleticism, just like you said, which is real, but he got too fast for his own feet.
Yeah. No, for sure. So that's an interesting primetime game to be, though. So the Chiefs have 5 primetime games, but then they have, which is weird, they have 4 3:25 home games.
Yeah.
That's that's CBS's way of making the Chiefs primetime without being primetime. Because they normally only play at 3:25 when they're at Denver or at when they're on the West Coast.
Those are my favorite games, so I'm excited about that because you get to watch all red zone the first half,
right?
And the majority of the game, which is my favorite part of the NFL season. I would think. I just thought, oh man, I'll watch red zone till I die. But,
right. Well, it's the way. This is the way of CBS trying to isolate the Chiefs because 3:25 Browns. I think there's only like 2 other 3:25 games on week 1. The Green Bay's 3:25. That'll be. I don't know which. I'm assuming it'll be CBS because it's in Kansas City, but it could be Fox's game. America's game of the week or whatever. Same with the Cowboys in week 11. Same with the Steelers in week 16. Like that's a lot of late time slot games. Now I think that Steelers game could get pushed to noon. That's December 26th. That's the Sunday. I could see that game getting pushed to noon if the Steelers suck.
Have fun. Yeah. Which would be a wild situation. When was the last time the Steelers were bad? I don't even think I remember that time.
I mean, they didn't make the playoffs 2 years ago when they were like 8.
Yeah, but they were like they were really close, right? The line. They could be like
that's what they're
bottom of the barrel. So
I don't know. They still got a defense.
Yeah, but I think Roethlisberger is close to completely cooked. So I know you agree, but.
Oh man, I don't know why I never hated the Steelers until we started doing this podcast, and now it's just kind of like I don't know, man. They're just
Well,
wild.
probably just because you got to say, "Oh man, look at me, I was right." Everybody's talking about how the Steelers are rid of the Chiefs and they fall apart to their arrival in the
Oh
playoffs.
my gosh, yeah, they were so bad the rest of the year. But let's get into some way too early and not important or relevant record predictions. What we got? What looking at this? What do you see?
Oh man, I haven't even done this. Hold on, you go first. Do you know?
I'm thinking in my heart I'm feeling 14-3, 13-4. I think
All
there's
right,
3 to 4 losses on this schedule.
man. It could be, yeah, for sure, right? Packers, one of, and also they'll have their surprise loss in the probably in the division,
I
right? Maybe
think
to the Raiders again.
or the tie. Yeah, in the division. Yeah, I think a sleeper game is in Tennessee. I don't think that game is getting enough talk
Sure.
about because Tennessee's still a good football team.
I mean, but that's before Tractacito gets going, right? That's like right
Yeah, that's
before.
true. That's
Yeah,
true.
he usually gets going in
Derrick,
November. So
Derrick Henry's not
yeah,
quite as more Ryan Tannehill. But like I don't know when you're playing what you're playing 4, 5. We'll count. Well, I guess we'll count the Steelers. So that's 6 games against playoff teams. The Cowboys are probably going to be better. You know that the 2 games against the Chargers that are better.
and I think you're
So
right. Like I think it's at some point they're going to lose to the Ravens. So it totally. I would rather it be in the second game of the season versus the in the playoffs.
there's 9 games on this schedule that if you told me that they lost, that I would like just told me that they lost that game, I wouldn't be like super surprised just because they're
Sure.
quality football teams.
The one game that's a lot. I think they're going to just absolutely come out and kill the Browns.
Right, and the Browns are
Um,
like the Browns are one of those 9. Both Charger games are like
yeah, they could lose that, but
it's
like,
not like I'm picking them to lose. It's just like if you just told me like, hey, the Chiefs lost to the Browns week 1, like I wouldn't be like super shocked. I think there's 9 of those
sure.
games on the
But
schedule.
historically, the Chiefs are just like incredible week one. So,
Yeah. So
uh,
and the Browns haven't won a game in a week 1 game in like 17 years or something like that. I saw.
is that's 17 years?
Yeah,
That's outrageous. Oh
I
my
haven't
god.
fact checked it. I haven't fact checked it, but like,
Oh my gosh, that's what a awful start to a season. Oh my god. Every single year, you're just like, yeah, we just lose the first game every year.
yeah,
Why get off to a hot start?
yeah. So I mean, so I don't know.
They can. They could drive. Not winning on a season can drive. Oh my god, 17 years is crazy. You could
I
go see
almost
an R-rated movie.
yeah, basically at this point.
Yeah.
It's kind of why, yeah, because let's do this real quick. I know this is not what, but they lost last year to Baltimore week 1. They lost to the Titans in 2019. They tied
Ooh.
week 1 against the Steelers in 2018. That was their. I think I remember that now. It was like the first time they hadn't lost. 2017, obviously, they didn't win any games.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, because everybody can. Yeah,
Lost to
because
Philly in
they had what was it called, the Bud Light chests or whatever that were unlocked when the Browns won, and they tied, so they didn't unlock. So that was
Oh,
I don't know if you remember that, but they had the beer.
I vaguely remember
the
that.
beer fridges that were all locked until they won after their losing seasons.
Okay, so we're in 2010 and they still haven't won a week 1 game. That's good enough for me. Like,
Yeah.
wow. So that's quite the streak for the Cleveland Browns. So there's gonna be a lot of motivation there. You know, everyone talks about their draft class and their free agents and them turning a corner last year, and so it's
Yeah, it
gonna
really
be.
comes down to Baker, though, right?
Yeah, it does.
As it has there since he got drafted there. It all kind of hinges on his play.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna lock in 14-3 as my May prediction. I think that's where I'm at. 14-3. I like it. I like where. I mean, they're just a good football team. So
Yeah,
for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, you want to make a official thing? I know you hate those, but I make you do them every time.
right. I'm just gonna go. 16-1. This is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nice,
Yeah, why
nice,
not?
nice.
Right?
See, I like the positivity. I like especially now when you go from a team that just has gone to 3 AFC Championship games. They've gone to 2 Super Bowls and won one. They have the best player in the sport.
They got embarrassed in a Super Bowl. They're gonna go scorched earth. Just go
Yeah,
through it.
yeah. And you've got this Kansas City team that doesn't even play their first game until September. The first, and it's
I think
still
the only
way
game they're
more.
gonna lose to is Heineke
And we're
in
still.
Washington. And future MVP Heineke.
Yeah, with all his tweets. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, it's just crazy that we have this team here, and then the team that's playing currently and had the best record in the majors through the month of April has lost 10 freaking games in a row. Haven't won since May 1st. Today is May 13th. Like, dude, I don't even know where to begin about the Kansas City Royals. I want to start with you just because, like, where are you at as an outsider who, kind of you didn't know a ton about it and kind of got in the hype train a little bit about them being good, and now they just suck. Like, where are you at on this team?
I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't know much about baseball. I know enough, right?
Yeah.
But when I was watching this team, I didn't think they were that good, right? When you watch the team, they didn't really. There was some really great moments from Salvi to like salvage some games, and there just wasn't anything that really popped out to me when I watched them. So honestly, I'm not surprised. I didn't think when I watched this team, it really felt like we were going to return to the mean. And I mean, are we this bad? Are the Royals this bad? Probably not, right? Hopefully not. But it hasn't really shook my confidence too much because when I was watching the team, it just didn't really feel like that good of a baseball team.
No, that's fair, and you always made that point clear when we talked about because you're always not necessarily super impressed by all of the games that happen, and they ran into some luck. Like, let's be honest,
Yeah.
like they opened the season against the Rangers. They only have a 2-game series in Cleveland, and they lose to Shane Bieber, who's the Cy Young. Then they get a rain out against the White Sox, and so it's only 2 games, so they're able to win 1. They miss Ohtani against the Angels. They miss the Blue Jays ace. They miss the Tampa Bay Rays ace. They kind of luck out of a 4-game sweep in Detroit because Detroit Tigers offense sucked too, even though the Royals didn't score a lot. They scored more of that, and it looks good because it's 4-game sweep. Like, they kind of like, as you go back and look through the schedule, like, they caught a lot of breaks. They missed a lot of aces, and they just kind of were able to bust out wins. And to me, that's the sign of a good baseball team. Like, you play who's in front of you, you find whatever you can win. It's not always pretty, but like, a win is a win.
Sure.
And that's completely disappeared
It's
in
gone.
May. It's completely gone. Like, I mean, 6-8 loss to Cleveland, a 3-7 loss where you had a lead to Cleveland, a 4-5 loss. Like, that Cleveland series, they got swept. The first 3 games were all really close. Like, they had a lead at some point. Hall had an opportunity to win. Like, the Cleveland series, even though it was a 4-game home sweep, didn't discourage me, to be completely honest.
The umps
like,
came in, made some decisions.
Right. There was a lot. There were some storylines that they were, the Royals were getting in their heads. They've lost 2 to the Tigers now.
Right? Didn't they get no hit by the Tigers bullpen? Right, by like 3 innings.
Yeah. The Tigers, who have the worst bullpen in the major leagues, no hit the Royals for 3 innings last night. After a night where the Royals scored 7 runs in 2 innings off of the Tigers. I'm at the point somebody needs to be fired or shuffled.
Wow! What the hell,
dude? No,
what an absolute like Latina soap opera like twist right here.
Hey,
somebody needs to be fired. Last week you were so positive.
There needs to be a shakeup. Okay, maybe not a fire. Listen. Dayton Moore doesn't need to be gone.
Oh,
Mike Matheny does not need to be gone. Those two are not who I'm talking about. I'm talking, in 2013, where that was supposed to be the year that, that they kind of turned the corner, which they did. They won 86 games. We're in the playoff hunt all the way through. That's what this year is supposed to be. In May of that year, when things were going bad, they brought in George Brett to be their hitting coach to kind of like just get the troops, just rally the troops and get people excited and kind of just a change of heart. In 2014, They had Pedro Grafal as their interim coach. They hired as their interim hitting coach. They hired Dave Swayam when the team was to be the new hitting coach. Now, they didn't fire Pedro Grafal. He's actually still on the team. They found a new job for him. But they when they were hitting a hitting slump, they brought in a new hitting coach to just shake things up. And guess what happened in 2014? We all know what happened.
Right.
Like, just because that the April was so good doesn't mean that things don't need to be changed now. Clearly, the Royals cannot get out of their own head. Something needs to be mixed up. I don't know if that's a straight, your job is gone, like a Cal Eldred, the pitching coach, or whatever, or Terry Bradshaw, the hitting coach, or if it just needs to be a shakeup, like, hey, you're going to go down to AAA and do this, and we're going to bring in this guy to be the hitting coach, or maybe George Brett can come down again, which I'm not a huge advocate for because they already did that. But like something needs to be done because everything that the Royals do wrong comes back to bite them. Like if they walk a guy, that dude's scoring. If they hit a guy, that dude is scoring. Like if they dive stupidly for a ball that they have no chance at and it gets to a triple, that run's scoring. Like every little mistake they do right now is coming back to biting them. And you know what amplified this the most for me was Tuesday night. So they had a bye Monday. They're on an 8-game losing streak. They lost 7 straight at home. They are going to Detroit. And you know what? Brady Singer runs into bad luck / doesn't have control. The Royals are down 7-0 in like the 5th inning. And Mike Matheny pulls Salvador Perez in the 6th inning, which isn't huge. Like, that's a catcher. Anytime you can save the catcher's legs, like, I get it. Still, I thought it was early, especially when you're on this losing streak and had a bye on Monday. Like, I thought that was a little premature.
Right.
He also pulled Whit Merrifield in the 6th inning after a bye. The dude that has the longest active streak in baseball and consecutive games. Now, he doesn't lose the streak for losing the game early because he started. But, like, the guy that has the most consecutive starts right now, coming off an off day, why does that dude need to be pulled? And you're like, oh, it's 7-0. It's not that big of a deal. Like, they tied the game 7-7 in the 9th inning without those two in the lineup. Imagine if those two were in the lineup. They may have actually won that game. Like, that just shows me that, like, are they even thinking? Like, are they even trying to win? Or are they just like, oh, we're down 7-0. Here's another loss. Like, guess we'll pull our starters now. Like, oh, crap. We're back in this game, and our 2 best players are on the bench. Like,
yeah, that's a really weird move. Like, how often does that even happen? Right?
Where
you just give up a game? Why would you even do that?
You see catchers get pulled all the time in blowouts because
but why your second baseman?
Yeah, I didn't. That was the thing that really what made it worse was it off an off day. If this would have been Sunday against the White Sox after they've played like 12 games in a row,
right?
Like it could have been 5-0 and I probably would have been okay with it. They had an off day Monday.
Like, did he have a kid's birthday party or something he needed to go to? Like, what's going on?
I guess so. I guess Witt knows some people in Detroit, and Matheny made sure he went and got to that person's birthday party. So,
right.
I mean, that right there.
Well, man, someone needs to look into his gambling past. What is he doing? Like, throwing these games? What's going on?
That right there was like, you're not even you're playing a bad team with a bad, like, they had the worst bullpen. Like,
right.
I don't know. And then
and talk about egg in your face when the team ties the game up and you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah, now this decision looks even worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Jorge Soler drove in 6 on his own in 2 innings. Like,
right. Talk about no faith. Right. Yeah, no faith in your team, man.
Absolutely none.
Slide.
And then they scored first yesterday. They scored 2 in the first inning. Guess how many runs they scored the rest. Guess how many runs and hits they had the rest of the game?
0.
0 runs and 2 hits.
Wow.
After scoring 2 in the first inning.
They're very streaky. Which is the worst part of baseball for me, like.
Yeah, like it's always streaky.
But. Yeah, but man, it's just like you're there. You're 2 innings into a game. You've seen, oh man, offense is really taking off, and then you're just like, 3 outs the rest of the game. That's when baseball can get you down.
Do you know if they don't win today, which is a 12-10 game, so most of our listeners will already know the outcome by the time they listen to this. If they don't win today, there's a legit shit chance they don't win again until the 21st.
So what has anybody ever got an entire month?
They won in May. They won May
right,
1st.
Yeah, they won May 1st. Okay.
They won May 1st.
Yeah. Okay.
And the Royals tweeted out undefeated in May.
Oh, man, they're just like they're cooking omelets on their face at this
Man.
point.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, because if they don't beat Detroit today, they have 4 against the White Sox. They are what? So they lost. They're 1-4 against the White Sox this year. They are 2-13 against the White Sox in their last 15 matchups. So they may get
Yeah,
a 4-game. They may get swept in 4 games in Chicago this weekend. Then they
right.
have a day off Monday, and then they host the Brewers for a 2-game set. And depending on the starting pitching you get for the Brewers, they have 3 guys who, if the Royals score 2 runs against, I'd be surprised. Like there's 3 guys in their rotation. So like there's 2 potential losses if the Brewers get the right starters. And then they play Detroit on Friday the 21st. Legitimately, like I try, believe it or not, I know most of you that listen to me, I try to be positive. I try to find twist on
All right,
anything.
man.
This team is like pissing me off so much that I'm literally saying, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, a 17-game losing streak would not surprise me at this point.
Yeah, somebody needs to get fired. Someone needs to lose their firstborn, or there's going to start being Chris Tenpenny plagues going around.
Dude,
So
you ever seen Moneyball?
yeah,
So you know the like where Brad Pitt's talking about the financial situations of all the teams.
sure.
That's how I feel about the way this team's playing. There are good teams and there are bad teams. Then there's 50 feet of shit. And then there's the Royals right now. That's where we're at right now. And they're only 3 games under 500. Like,
and I would like to remind everybody that we did a podcast 7 days ago, right?
yeah.
And
And they were already on like a 4-game losing
and you were
streak.
like being positive, being a little, yeah, we've had a little bit of a slide, but we'll be back. This is just how baseball works.
Right.
So now someone's getting fired.
Yep. Or something needs to be shipped. And they did it in
Yeah,
13 and 14.
no more
2
Sweet
winning
16.
seasons.
Somebody's
They did
losing.
it in 2 winning seasons. They shifted things up. They didn't actually fire people, but they shifted things up on 2 winning seasons. Why can't we do it this year?
Yeah. They should hire someone, fire them, just like
Just
bring in George Brett, like unretire his number, give it to like Nicky Lopez, or something. You just got to change it up. Just make it more of a disaster. Maybe they'll make Whit Merrifield retire.
Or make Whit Merrifield change his number because of Mahomes wears number 15.
Yeah. Now he's like 96.
Or bring in Mahomes for a relief inning.
Sure.
Sign him to a 1-day contract.
He wears the number 69. Who cares at this point? Right. Let's just make it all a joke.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then it's just.
Oh, what if you brought in what if you brought in is Patrick Mahomes Sr. or whatever as the pitching coach? There you go. There's your change.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. Everything I know about Patrick Mahomes Sr., I don't know if I want that dude on the team.
Why? What do you know about Patrick? I don't know anything about Patrick Mahomes Sr. Is he not a good baseball player?
Well, no, his career ERA is 5.47.
Maybe he was playing the wrong sport.
No, he wasn't a good baseball player. I don't know. I've just heard some things to where he's a little out there sometimes in his comments when you talk to him. I don't know a lot, but I don't know if a guy with a career
who's out there with some comments is George Brett. So
yeah, George Brett's got some funny comments though, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen the pants where he was talking about the time he crapped his pants? Yeah, everyone needs to see that video. But yeah, something needs to be done because this team is just they have nothing to hang their head on. Like Duffy had his worst outing of the year last year. He gave up 4 runs over 6 innings. Like that's a good start, especially because his ERA is still under 2. Like I don't know, and they can't even win those games. You can't even win where your starter, pitches pretty well for you. I don't know. It's just. Duffy is the only positive on this team right now. He really is, which is wild to me. If we're being completely honest.
Soler, then he's driving in the whole team.
Yeah, he still has a 644 OPS, which is like 67th in the American League out of 86. I saw Josh Vernier release a stat yesterday where there's 86 qualified hitters in the American League, and the Royals have like 4 guys that are like 67th or worse.
Jeez.
Yeah.
perform. Yeah, no wonder he's letting Witt take the day off.
Yeah, because Salvi, Santana, Merrifield, and Andrew Benintendi are the only 4 that you can actually rely on at this point, to any degree.
So, losing on all 3 levels at this point,
or
whatever.
Bobby Witt. Hey, Bobby Witt hit his first minor league home run yesterday.
Let's go Omaha.
So he's in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh.
So he's not up to AAA yet.
Oh.
I mean, it's his first year with the minor leagues around. So, although Asa Lacy, you know that name from the first round draft pick last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude cannot throw a strike. He's got like 2 starts, and I
don't know baseball that well, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to throw strikes.
But his stuff is disgusting. Like it's like either he's walking people or striking them out. There is no in between. There are no hits and home. Or I mean, I'm sure he's been hit a few, but like we're looking at his stat line. There's nothing else in between. It's either you're striking out or he's walking you. So I mean, I guess if we're talking about stuff, that's nice.
I mean, it's a good start to anything.
I mean,
some people would like you to throw strikes.
He's pitched 6 career minor league innings, so like I think that's okay for start.
It's time to release him.
I know, right?
That'll be the change. Just the whole minor league system has come to replace the majors for a day.
So, dude, I don't know. Well, they need to try something. I mean, maybe call Kyle Isbell back up, but he strikes out a lot. Like I'm literally out of ideas.
What an absolute disaster in the change of your confidence in the last week.
Yeah. Well, hey, every day's a new day. We could get off Daniel Lynch.
Oh my God, what a statement. Every day is a new day. It is what it is. Just absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, today Daniel Lynch makes his 3rd career start. All right.
Yeah. Can he throw strikes?
Start number 1 was okay. He didn't quite go 5 innings. Gave up I think 3 runs or so. But for a major league start against I think it was the Cleveland Indians. You know, there's definitely worse starts. Considering what his second start was, where he got 2 outs and allowed 7 runs, but didn't even make it out of the first inning. So we will.
So we're kind of at Goldilocks at this point.
Or
this one's a little bit too big, a little bit too small. Maybe this will be just right.
Today, he's facing a very bad offense. So let's see if the real Daniel Lynch, the kid who's supposed to potentially be even better than Brady Singer, and you know how I feel about Brady Singer.
Right.
This kid's supposed to be potentially the best pitching prospect, in the Royals organization. I don't need him to be amazing out of the gate. You know, that's just how rookies work. I'm okay with letting him pitch, but like he went 2 1/3 innings, or 2/3 of an innings and allowed 7 earned runs last start. Like I need something more than that, my man. Like give me 5 and 2 today. Give me 5 innings of 2-run ball, and we can start a positive train. You know, we can turn we can turn where my current mindset is around, and we'll just
save somebody's job. Lynch.
Yes.
Come on.
Is that where we're at?
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, it's just frustrating, dude. It's just really, really frustrating. Because I was so excited for April. Like again, I was never like this team's going to the playoffs. I got to the point to where I was like, I could see this team getting to the playoffs, but I'm still not tired of predicting it. We are so far away from that. Like,
no, yeah. Are they the worst team in baseball at the time?
As of right now, the Rockies are the only team that I think I might say is worse than the Royals at this point.
And they're not even trying to win.
They're not even trying to win. They have 2 players, so.
Wow, that's crazy.
Trevor Story and
just a pitcher and like a catcher, and if they don't.
No, a shortstop and a first baseman.
Oh, so perfect.
They don't even have a pitcher.
Oh yeah. So what is that? They just get to put it up on a tee? You know,
pretty much. Yeah. Just, when you're playing at Coors, that's what it feels like sometimes. Yeah. But yeah. So I just man, again, we use this as a therapy. We didn't need to grind our gears this week because the Royals provided plenty of frustration. So, but. Any positive notes you want to end on before we get out of here?
No. The Royals are on a 10-game losing streak. They haven't won since May 1st, and you're about to get someone fired, and they're just going to pull the whole team when they're down by 5 in the 3rd inning at some point. So I think we can leave this one salty.
Hey, you know what the luckiest thing ever for me is that the Royals. My birthday is May 17th.
Okay.
The Royals have an off day, so they cannot lose on my birthday. So like, happy birthday to me. Like that's
We
all
have
I
really,
needed.
man, no chance of them ever winning a baseball game. So I don't want to be too happy my birthday. I want to be right, good and medium.
Yeah, I'm a Phillies fan at this point actually because they're 20 and 17, and I love watching Bryce Harper. So actually, I'm a Phillies fan.
Yeah, well, the Sixers have Joel Embiid. Maybe you should just move to Philadelphia.
Maybe
Get the
just
hell
move
out
to
of here.
Philly. Maybe
Yeah.
just move to Philly. That's where we're at. But that is going to wrap it up for us this week. We appreciate you guys listening. I'm sure you're all frustrated with the Royals as well. Please let us know if you have any ideas. Should they fire someone? Should they call someone up? Should they what do they do? Yeah, what do they need to do? They need to go to Kauffman Stadium and sacrifice the lamb? Like I'm up for anything. Let us know. You can tweet at me at 10penny88.
They should sacrifice Lord, the royal singer.
Oh my gosh. I was keeping it at animals, dude. But, so yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at 10penny88. Drew, where can the good people follow you?
At Drew Clifton. Let's go.
At Drew Clifton. Yeah, you should tweet Drew all of your baseball takes. He would love to get back to you on that. Big baseball guy. But
I'm getting there. I'm trying. They're not making it easy.
They're not making it easy. They made it kind of easy in April, but man.
Yeah, they gave me a taste. But
hey, this is just to end on the fact that you said 16-1 Kansas City Chiefs. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. So, but all right, that's gonna do it for this week. We will talk to you guys next time.